Okay, guys, I think so far I only have one video highlighting indicators. So I want to get in a little more videos. I got a video that I'm working on to explain VWAP in a simple way. Um, the VWAP line, if you look at this orange line, this is the VWAP line. Okay, I'm not really going to get into it today, but I'm just gonna do a quick explanation of what it is. It's not going to be exact. It's just going to be a very quickly explanation, okay? And I'm going to also explain how I use indicators and I use trend lines to kind of get a feel of what the stock is. I also want to do a video on the psychology of investing because let's be frank. A lot of people don't know if any of these indicators work, but what people do know is most people who trade will react a certain type of way because of these indicators. They'll buy and sell because of these indicators. So once you learn what these indicators are supposed to do, you will also learn what the average person is going to do when they see these indicators, okay? But that's another video. So right now, let me explain. The video I'm doing is UAVS. I'm in a Facebook group, chat group in the Messenger, and I was alerted on UAVS about 3 days ago when it was at about $1 maybe, and it was a lot of talk on possible merger. And so if you know me or watch any of my videos, I always buy a stock on what the possibility, right? If someone says Amazon is going to buy Lyft, they're thinking about it, they're going to have a meeting next week, I'll buy Lyft now and I'll sell before the meeting. I always buy on the possibility and sell before the date that the possibility is supposed to come into fruition. Okay, so anyway, let's get into it. I bought this actually today when it was around 2:15, and this morning at 9:30, I noticed that it was doing higher highs and higher lows. So I made this yellow line right here to be the trend line. It would be a support of the higher lows because I noticed it was bouncing off it. And as you see going up, it continued to bounce off it a few more times. Um, you see, it actually broke it right here, but we'll get into that in a second. Um, I don't like to make a lot of support and resistance lines. Okay. So what I will do is I'll make it as I go. If I know that the stock is currently trading up here at 418, I'm not going to make a support line down here at 280. I'm going to make the next closest support line and the next closest resistance line. And if I'm watching it when it passes those areas, um, I will change it. Like right now, I noticed that it seems to be a resistance right here. So I made the line. Okay. Purple is the color I use for support and resistance. Okay. So I like to stay in that area. I don't like to go too far out because if you do that, you'll have too much lines on your chart and that might confuse you. Okay. So the purple line is my support. And as we go over here, we have the VWAP line. The VWAP pretty much is the average cost of the stock throughout the day, the average price of what people are buying it at. Okay, so if the if it is above the VWAP, that means it's bullish. If it's below the VWAP, that means it's bearish. Okay, if you see the VWAP line going in an upward trend, that means that more people are buying it at a higher price. If it's going at a downward trend, that means more people are buying it at a lower price. Okay, so the VWAP also act as a support line too. So as we see, once it crossed the VWAP line, it came down and bounced off the VWAP. That is a positive indicator that it will be bearish. So it bullish. So it went back up, but then it dropped, and it dropped below the VWAP, and it dropped below the the trend line that I made this morning of the higher lows. Okay. So once it dropped below that, that was my indicator to sell. And that's what I did. I sold it. Okay. So after I sold it, you notice that it bounced. It kept going down. It actually hit this support line and then went back up. But as you see that it's consolidating right here at this support line, that tells me that, okay, maybe it could go any way right now. The volume of the stock is higher. If we go to the volume, the average daily volume, if you look to the top right, is about 4 million. Today it's at 96 million. Okay, so the volume is higher than usual, right? So anytime a volume is that high, to me, it tells me that it could go any way, because when it consolidates like this, sometimes a high volume means that it's a lot of institutional buying and selling going on. So whatever they do, if they're buying, it could shoot a stock up drastically. If they're selling, it could drop a stock drastically. Okay. Um, a lot of institutes use the VWAP line. The way they use it is to try to keep the price around the average cost. So when a stock shoots up like this and hit 515, then they'll sell it to drop it closer to the VWAP line. When it comes closer to the VWAP line, they'll let it go. People will buy it, so it'll climb back up. And when it climb back up, they'll sell it again to drop it closer to the VWAP line. It also acts in the reverse. If the stock was flipped and the price was under the VWAP line, they might start buying uh, to get it up closer to the VWAP line, or they might just keep it. When they get up to the VWAP line, they'll sell it and they'll drop a little bit. They'll wait till it go back up to the VWAP line, then they'll sell it again and let it drop a little bit. But I hope this wasn't too confusing. I just wanted to make a quick and kind of simple to understand video on how to use how to draw on your graph to make lines, or to use a VWAP line, or another one that I like is the EMA line. I made a video earlier about how to set up a EMA line. So if you haven't watched that, I would go back and check it out. I believe the EMA line is the easiest line to indicators to use to let you know when to buy and sell, aside from support, resistance, and candlesticks. Okay, so I prefer to use the EMA lines and the VWAP lines at the same time. I normally switch back and forth, but you should try to find the lines that work the best for you. But as we speak, let's look at this chart. I now notice that this trend line of higher lows is no longer valid. So what I do, I delete it, and I notice a new trend appearing. Let me go to my color for my trend line. I notice a new trend appearing, and this is what the trend looks like. So now it looks like lower highs and lower lows. It looks to be on a downward pattern. Therefore, I will exit. I will already exit, but now I know that it's bearish. I could either short the stock or just sell my position and keep it going. Let me know what you think of my video. Subscribe, like, comment if you have any questions, and thanks for sticking it out with me. Have a blessed day.